Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Doing Better with Bree. It's your girl Bree, and baby, we have some things to talk about. Now, before we get started with tonight's topic of discussion, don't forget to subscribe for me and turn on those notifications, as I am a new creator on this platform and all of your help is highly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, and repost. And without further ado, baby, let's get into what we're finna talk about. So this video is going around and it's quite depressing to watch, so I'm going to warn you before I insert the clip that it might make you feel really uncomfortable just watching it. So we're going to go ahead and insert clip now, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
What I really wish is that for you men to be honest with women from the beginning. I've been battling this for years, crying for years, because I went from a virgin at almost 30 years old to a single mother. And it hurts me because I've been silent for too long. And all I hear people say is they disrespect women and mothers all the time. But they don't never talk about how men lie and deceive women, and they don't even want to be with them. I wish I would just be honest with women before the trauma begins. So I went from a virgin to almost 30 years old to a single mom, to be in trauma, to be in survival mode. That's what obsessed me the most. Like, I was a good girl my whole life, loyal to people that deceive me the most. And that's what messes me up the most. Like, I didn't even have a choice whether or not to be in survival mode.
How did you not have a choice? Is there something I don't know? I'm wondering, based on the information that she's given us, how did she not have a choice?
But you men don't care. You just move on to the next. You don't care who you put in survival mode. And y'all not trying to elevate at all. You're not trying to be with any woman. You're not trying to be with the woman that you really want to be with. Because you play games. You all play games for generations to come.
So, as you can see in this video, this woman is giving highly devastated. She basically is saying that she waited to find the proper partner based off her standards of what she was taught about love, loyalty, and maintaining her purity, and to wait till she finds a certain man to give it out to. Well, she ultimately, it's looking like, based off what we can see, has gotten played. And he has left her devastated, but devastated and in survival mode, and she a single mother. He hit her with the triple whammy. So I decided I was going to talk about it because I was completely appalled. And here is my video on TikTok about it. And the comments, baby, the comments are what did it for me. We're going to talk about a few of the comments. 30-year-old virgin to single mother is crazy as hell. Like, the timeline is crazy as hell, I know. But to wait your entire 20s and get to your 30s and decide to finally give it up, and the first man you give it up to turns you into a single mother, a baby mama who says she is in survival mode. Now that's crazy. How does something like that even happen? I need more details, I need more context, but I'm sure it's coming. All right, so this black woman looked traumatized, y'all. She got a blank stare, staring at the screen, mug on her face, bun to the back, looking tired, wore out, stressed out, and just at her wit's end. But this is why I say there's no glory in being a good girl. Like, waiting all that time to turn around and ultimately get played to the left. This is why a lot of so-called good girls have a high level of trauma. When you're a no good, lying, narcissistic, downright bad girl, 304 or whatever, like, those women, they mental health be a little bit better. I know you're probably like, how, what, where? Like, they mental health when it comes to men. I'm going to be specific. When it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, they already know a lot about how these men are going to operate. They've seen the dark sides of men. They've moved through enough men to know how 80% of them are going to pretty much act the same, and like there's a small percentage of men that are actually going to be exceptional good men, and they don't come that often, and only so many women get those men. And so for everybody else, you're either going to consistently get played and let it drag you to the bottom and have you feeling like how she feel, overwhelmed, played, disgusted, like she just cannot handle what is obviously happening to her. And even though she wants to feel so special and so unique, that story has happened to so many women out here, and they still have to pick that shit up and keep it moving and take care of their child. I know she's feeling down and out right now, and so many people want to feel sorry for her, but really it's time for her to go ahead and just accept the reality of what has happened with this man and get herself together, get her shit together, get her bag together, and take care of her child and just move on, because there's more men out here, boo. More men. Now, one of the comments that got me was the one talking about how we should get rid of purity culture. And I'm all here for that. I think we should get rid of it. I feel like it just gives a false sense of reality. What's truly going on is people are moving on fast from people. Like, if you're not serving their every need, they are leaving. Everybody always constantly thinks that as they elevate with more money, that they deserve better. No one wants to compromise anymore. And so I think this woman was a victim of a man not wanting to or willing to compromise. Now, obviously, we don't have his side of the story, but we don't really need his side of the story to understand like something has happened here. This woman isn't looking surprised, shocked, desperate, upset, and confused for no reason. She really probably told this man that she was a virgin and wanted to wait until she found a certain person in order to give it up to. He took that information, did whatever he wanted to with it, right? And either he chose to move forward and have the sex act with her because he had plans on staying with her, and then something just happened. But it immediately makes you wonder what happens, because everybody always say something happened. I'm just like, what happened? Is nobody willing to compromise anymore? Is nobody willing to be loyal anymore? What truly happened? We don't know. Maybe she'll come back with a part 2. We'll see if we want to keep up with it. But all we know is that for whatever reason, she's letting us know that they created a child while they were in the act, and he no longer wanted to be with her, is what it's giving once it was all said and done. Devastating as hell. I also see a lot of comments from women saying, oh, this happened to me, except I didn't get stuck with a baby, or this happened to me and I did get stuck with the baby. Because a lot of women honestly feel that being a good girl is what they are supposed to be in life, and that, 304 culture, hoe culture, promiscuous culture is shamed upon and looked down upon. And the more untouched you are, the more you are perceived as more exclusive, more high class, more, valuable in, I guess, a man's eye. It all comes down to how a man views you, right? So there's comments talking about good girls will always finish last. And I honestly believe like 90% of the time that is true. When you walk around with your head filled like, oh, I don't get touched, I don't do this, I'm a good girl, I don't do this, I don't do that, as if you're wanting to project onto other women who might be a little bit more promiscuous or active, that you are somehow better to them. And then you end up just finding that right person that is able to convince you enough, because at the end of the day, losing your virginity all comes down to how well you were convinced. It came down to whoever was the smooth talker at that time. So really it all takes just the right person. And so it looks like the right person came to her. He sold her whatever dream he wanted to sell her, and she went for it, not even realizing, I don't think she understood that men lie, and they will take advantage of women in those situations and just put you as a notch on their belt. I feel like a lot of women forget like the notch on the belt lifestyle for men is still existing, right? You may not be their everything. You may not be their wife, and you can just become a baby mama that was a notch on their belt that sometimes they might want to spin the block and lay up with every now and then, because why not? You're already their baby mama. And we know how that culture goes. Do we need to really explain it? I really do feel bad for good girls. A lot of good girls, they walk around thinking that if they are a good enough woman, if they stay focused on themselves, stay focused on their lifestyle, their goals, or whatever, that the right man will come along. And the truth is, all of this comes down to really chance, luck, and calculated moves. I feel like people need to actually be intentional when they want to go out and find a partner, because then you are a lot more rigorous in what it is you want from your partner. You are more detailed. Do you understand? You care about certain aspects. You look into certain things when you're actually ready to find a partner, rather than just falling in love randomly. Yeah, my little things is sliding. Some people like the idea of just, oh, it'll happen to me. I'll just fall in love randomly. And some people like to say, no, I'm going to wait till I get to a certain point in my life, a certain status in my life. And then at that point, I will go out and look for love. I feel like that's probably what you should do. You should wait till you have your stuff together and then go out here and look for love. Like, be intentional in the act and just give love and allow yourself to receive love. And the person that is supposed to be right for you and aligns for you, hopefully they will come to you. You're not rushing the process. You're just putting the energy out that I am ready to receive love at this point in my time. And I think that I'm in a healthy space to be able to benefit whomever my partner is, because I worked on myself. I've worked on the things that I want to accomplish. I'm in a better place mentally and financially and spiritually. Yes, it should be a intentional act. Love is fleeting. It comes and it goes. And I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that love is actually fleeting, and they try to focus in on how they feel in that moment and how they just don't want that moment and that feeling to end. It's an unrealistic way to live your life, and you can and will be played out here. That is the reality. You need to live in reality and not la la land. I do feel bad for this lady, but at the same time, I also don't, because I'm sure along her path of purity, there was a moment where she probably tried to make other girls feel as though they were dumb for doing what they were doing for a man, or they were going to get played, or this, that, and the other was going to happen to them because she was waiting. You can't tell me otherwise, because I've never met a woman who was on her purity journey and didn't try to subconsciously bash women who were not. And they walked around like things were going to be better for them when it came to men. And I always had to tell them, you're on the purity journey for you, because you want to be pure, because you are not ready, because you can't handle what the active sex also leads to, because it can lead to pregnancy. It can lead to you being connected spiritually, and you have decided that you would rather wait until you find your husband because you understand that you are not ready for that. But that does not mean that other women cannot handle the idea of being promiscuous and perform the roles and acts of what a wife is, because literally being a wife is just a job. We could literally draft up what it means to be a wife. It's not some crazy, theoretical, unachievable thing. You can literally draft up what it is to be a modern day wife. Which brings me to my next topic: 304s that end up wives. There is a lot of women that end up being happily married women that were in these streets, 304ing it, selling it, playing games, moving around, handing it out, giving it out, YK Neesing it, whatever you want to call it. They were outside at some point in their life. And during that journey, they probably learned a lot of things about men and usually became the biggest man haters. And if they end up married or with a guy, it's because that guy has chosen to look past all of that, if he even cared. And she is a valuable woman, not only in the bedroom, probably because she's learned quite a few things. Okay. Also, she is able to understand and cater to a man. I do believe that 304s are more successful in the man area because they learn to cater to a man's inner needs and his deep, dark subconscious thoughts that he just doesn't want to say out loud. They know what they are and they can tend to them a lot easier. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lure, there's an energy, there's a presence that a woman that is a seductress seduce a man into doing anything, doing their bidding, giving them money, creating a lifestyle for them. And some women are better at it than others, and that's why they've been able to curate themselves a higher lifestyle based off of how they want to use men for their financial gain. And women tend to shame other women for that, feeling as though you should want to genuinely love a man, and that because you give love that you will receive love. And I don't know who told they dumbasses that, but that's literally not the case. Just because you give love, you have to be ready to receive nothing. You have to be ready to receive nothing. Just because you give love, there is nowhere saying that a man has to genuinely love you back. He can be using you and taking what he can from you and reminding you of everything that you lack. And then one day, just deciding you are not the one for him, that he just found something more entertaining, a little bit better, maybe a little bit more attractive to him at the time. Men just change their minds based off the season sometimes. And a lot of women get shocked. They can't believe it. Why me? How did this happen? I'm a good girl. Oh, this should not happen to me. But baby, you can have 100 bodies and get played. You can have no bodies and get played. That's just the name of the game. There is nothing saying that it has to be fair. So maybe we should throw away purity culture. I'm not saying go out here and just do whatever you want, but there is no point in constantly reminding everybody that you are on your purity journey. I wouldn't even tell a man that. I wouldn't even give him the luxury of knowing that, because once they have that information, they will use that as leverage some which way. They might even go as diabolical as planning something so beautiful for you, making you want to give it up just to turn around and just be laughing later about how easy it was for them to get you to come out of it. Some guys are out here playing games because they are bored. Some guys are out here playing games just to see if they can. You have to understand that not every man you run into has the best intentions of actually loving you. Sometimes they just want that cookie from you. And that is why we shouldn't shame women. At the end of the day, at least they are getting something out of getting somewhat used, as you would say. A lot of women just out here giving it out and they're not getting anything but trauma and heartbreak. And that is what this woman got. Nothing but a baby, trauma, heartbreak, and she's also broke in survival mode. Baby, no. No. There's no way in hell. He didn't deserve that. I can't even think of one man that actually deserves your coochie to himself. Why does one man deserve to have touched you and you only? When you can guarantee 90% of these men have touched a whole bunch of things before they came to you. Yeah, most of y'all's husbands have made it around certain cities and towns before they just decided to come and give that raggedy used up thing to you. Why do they deserve to have all of us to themselves? I don't think that they do. This entire situation is a learning example. And what can we do better in this situation? Well, I have some things that you can honestly at least attempt and or try. If you are a woman who has been on her purity journey and is still technically a virgin, you need to understand that just because you decide that you want to give it to this man, that man does not have to be committed to you for the rest of his life. It also does not guarantee you that you are going to live a happier life with a man because you chose to wait. It also does not mean that you will not be a single mother because you chose to wait. If you decide you want to wait, make sure that you understand that it is for you. That is the first thing. You're waiting for you because you understand how powerful that act is between a man and a woman, and you just understand that it is best for you, for your mental health, for everything you have going on, for your morale, that you wait. But it does not mean that you are better than someone who decided not to wait. If you decide to wait, more power to you. And responsible, yes, you're a responsible person to wait because you should want to wait. So you're responsible for sure. It's so sad out here. It really is. And I wouldn't wish anything like this on anybody, but we have to understand that men definitely will lie to you to get inside of you. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna never change, but they will play their part. And once you have decided you're not giving it to a man, a lot of times they just scurry right along. And they go to a girl that will. And even if you give it to them, if they don't like the way that you gave it to them, like the actual act itself didn't impress them, they're going to go find somebody else that is more impressive in the bedroom. And that is the dirty game that we are playing out here as adults. Everyone's looking for their best freak off partner, it seems like. It's like, do people even love each other anymore? Or is it like, who's gonna freak me better? Because everything these days is so overly sexualized. And it's like sex has become such a major part of relationships that it literally tears them apart when one partner isn't happy or aroused or getting off in the relationship. They will seek that gratification somewhere else because they're all human at the end of the day, and that urge does not die off for a long time. I don't even know if it really goes away, even for the old people. I feel like they still get a little tingle or something. I don't know. Let's not think too deep into it. The act itself is so powerful. And I do respect women who choose to just hold it down for them because that's what they want to do. And more power to you. But learn from this situation. Understand that just because you wait does not mean that you are guaranteed to keep that man. Just like you're not guaranteed to keep him if you give it up. It's a catch-22 around here. You can give it up to a man on the first night and then that couple be together for life. You wait 90 days and y'all breaking up in 6 months. It's a dirty game we're playing out here. Don't even attempt to be in a relationship because you're just going to get disappointed and left with kids. Seriously. Until you are in a place where you're happy. Like, I made the money, I've done the things, I'm doing the things that I want to do, I'm in a better mind space, I'm having the time, I've done the traveling, whatever it is that you wanted to do, make sure that you do that first. And that's even in the event that you guys decide to maybe disperse from the relationship. Maybe both households could hold it together financially by themselves better. You understand? Like, when you wait and you're in a financially better place before you go in your relationship, even if you guys tear apart, you might be able to financially continue to support yourself and that child. Because this woman clearly said that she is in survival mode and a single mother. So that means like him also putting her in a situation where she felt like she could be vulnerable and not bring as much income into the relationship until he decided that he wanted to leave was a very risky move as well. So she gave up her purity and her independence all at once. And this man totally rocked her world. Like I said, hit her with a triple whammy. You know, single mother, survival mode, and gave up the purity. It's a lot to take in, and just make sure that you do your research on the people that you're talking to. Just make sure you're taking time for yourself first before you commit to anybody or anything. Just take time for you first. Do the things that you want to do so you won't be highly disappointed when things don't work out, because you can just go back to like living your life like, oh well, I mean, that didn't work out, but I'm just going to go back to doing the things that make me happy. Or that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. That's all the time that I have for today. And like I always say, you guys, don't forget to do 1% better a day, get your bag, and stay out the way. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you can be informed when I post next. I appreciate you guys so much. See you next time.